My name is Beth, and you are listening to the Canna Fitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we are hanging out at the intersection of fitness, nutrition, and cannabis. Thank you so much for pressing play today. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you sharing this with your friends. And if you have any questions or things you want me to talk about that are related to fitness, related to nutrition, related to cannabis, please let me know and I'd be happy to talk about it. But today I have the top reasons why I love cannabis, not just for myself, because you know I do, but as a fitness professional. Because the way I see it, I've been a trainer for 15 years and helping people with get strong, lose weight, with nutrition, for years and years. So I see a lot of common themes. And a lot of those common themes and obstacles to people getting in shape are things that can be helped with cannabis. and I've talked a lot about how it's helped me, but I want to talk a little bit about how it can help you if these are obstacles that are keeping you from being fit or keeping you from eating healthy or keeping you from losing weight. So I'm going to run through these. I have actually 7 of them. And the first one is anxiety, managing anxiety. CBD especially is phenomenal for managing anxiety. The whole point of CBD, which is the non-psychoactive, it's no buzz, CBD, its whole job is to bring your body back into balance. So if you have anxiety, that's your neurotransmitters being off balance, right? Very simply put. And CBD can help bring those back into balance. And so that can be a phenomenal tool. But here's the thing. What I see, and it's happened to me too, so when I suffered from anxiety, it's very paralyzing. And it really stops us from living life the way we want to. The thing with anxiety is you want to feel normal, you want to do normal things, and you should. The desire is there, the intention is there, but there's something about it that's paralyzing. And when I have clients with anxiety, which is super common, they don't always make it to the gym. They don't always make it to their sessions. They don't always make healthy choices because they're off balance in their brain such that it's not allowing them to make the decisions that they want to be making. And so CBD especially could be a phenomenal tool, just like it's helped me with my anxiety. I see this as an incredible tool for helping people overcome anxiety and be able to do the things that they intend to do, like go to the gym or take that walk outside or make healthy choices or cook their dinner instead of ordering out, right? Things like that. Anxiety can be, again, it can be so paralyzing from the things we know we should be doing, but it gives us, relieving that gives us the energy and the ability to make these good decisions. So it can be a major hurdle. And THC absolutely can help with anxiety as well. If you're new to cannabis, I would start you with CBD just because there is no buzz to it. But if you're experienced or if you're interested in THC, you'll find that also relieves your anxiety. It's just adding the layer of the buzz just adds another layer. So it's always a start slow and progress tactic when it comes to cannabis, especially with anxiety. But on that same note, social anxiety is a huge obstacle for those of us who struggle with social anxiety, because when we're socializing, one of the ways that we manage it is by over drinking and overeating, because that's an easy way to kind of hide. It's an easy way to start to feel better and make yourself numb or just more comfortable by standing around the food table, downing the drinks or keep eating just to feel a little more involved in your socializing. So one client actually started microdosing her THC for social events and found that she drank so much less because she was just comfortable being herself. And she didn't need alcohol and she didn't need the food to make her feel like she fit in. She was able to feel more natural. She fits in naturally because she's a wonderful person. So, it can really help in those situations too. Because if you've had social anxiety or if you feel like you have a little bit of it, you'll know that, going out, and if you always end up drinking too much, then it makes it really hard to lose weight. And it makes it really hard to get up the next day and go to the gym, right? So that can be just one way that it can be a tool. Number 2, regulating moods. And again, I'm starting with CBD here, which is the non-psychoactive, no buzz. But CBD's job, again, is to bring your body back into balance. The fancy word is homeostasis, but we're bringing it back into balance. So if your moods are not regulated, you might feel, extreme moods. One way, it could be any factor. It could be anger, it could be sad, it could be any kind of emotion, but when they're extreme, it just means we're out of balance. And CBD can absolutely balance out those transmitters so that you can regulate your mood, especially when you take it over a long period of time. CBD can act like a vitamin. And I think that actually might be a whole podcast in itself, is CBD as a vitamin. But it builds up in your system and works better if you take it over a longer period of time. So it can regulate your mood. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to being an obstacle to fitness, again, kind of like the anxiety, if you have powerful moods, especially negative ones, it can be a deterrent to your fitness and your weight loss journey. Because say you're in a bad mood and you're like, you know what? I don't want to go to the gym because I'm in a bad mood. I think a healthy mentality would be, I'm in a bad mood. I'm going to go to the gym and feel better because I'm going to move my body and get endorphins. But sometimes we get so deep in these moods that you just can't get yourself out of it. And so if you're feeling really low, depression is a mood, right? Technically. If you're feeling really down and really depressed, again, that's not going to allow you to go to the gym. It's not going to motivate you to go to the gym. It's not going to help you make healthy choices, because when we're sad and we're depressed and we're in that low state, we're not always making great decisions about what we're eating either. That's kind of the basis of emotional eating, right? Is that we tend to make the poor decisions. So, having CBD regulate your mood can really help make better decisions and be motivating in terms of that. Now, THC will also help regulate moods. And a lot of what THC does is bring us to the other end of the spectrum in what they call euphoria, which is, extreme happiness. So everybody's different, and it does take some practice to figure out where you like to fall on the spectrum of, euphoria all the way down to depression, right? Everybody has kind of a happy spot on that spectrum. So it takes some time to figure that out. But again, think about the times that you're in a good mood and you're feeling good about yourself. You're making better decisions about your body in those times. So it can be an excellent mood regulator. Recovery is one of the biggest, I think, benefits of cannabis. Again, both CBD and THC can help with inflammation and pain relief, and it can really minimize pain, and it can even take away pain so that you can function. And when it comes to workout recovery, we need to minimize the inflammation so that we can recover faster, because nobody likes to be sore, right? Especially if you're new, just starting out, you might be even extra sore. And if not that we need to be sore all the time, but when you have an especially hard workout or you do something new, you're probably going to be sore. So using cannabis can help reduce that soreness, reduce the inflammation in our body, and help us feel better. That means you are more likely to go to your next workout because you're not too sore. I see that a lot too. as a trainer. A lot of times people are so sore from doing something new or going too hard, or they just have, a lot of people are just prone to more inflammation. Then it deters them from coming back or going to the next workout, or they skip them because they're so sore. So in order to maintain a regular routine of working out, you want to really minimize your soreness and minimize your inflammation so that you feel better. And some people, what I find too, a lot of people have chronic pain and inflammation, where that might be, a part of your body, is constantly in inflammation or pain, like maybe your back. That's a really common one. See a lot of people with back issues, that discs that happen to be inflamed and kind of stay that way. And then using your cannabis can help relieve that, reduce the inflammation, but also relieve it so that it's not a deterrent. Because if you've ever had back soreness, then the last thing you want to do is work out, right? You want to do everything but move. So if you could relieve that, then you could go out and take a walk, right? That's so much more motivating to feel good. So reducing recovery, pain, inflammation, reducing all of that. Again, CBD works wonders without any buzz. There's no high to CBD. You'll find it in a lot of topicals, which are like creams and things that you can apply on the outside. Again, there's no buzz, so it doesn't really matter. But that are just, you put it right on your skin, right over the muscle. There's a lot of products out there. And THC can do the same thing as well. You'll hear a lot of people use THC when they have chronic pain because it is so powerful. Okay, number 4, we've got the mindful connection. So here's the deal. When we work out, the more we can actually focus our mind, our brain into what our muscles are doing, the better results we get. Here's my example. Have you ever noticed if you're at the gym, say you're doing some strength training and someone has you, maybe your trainer, or you decide you're going to do 3 sets, which is kind of average routine. Usually people do 2, 3, or 4 sets of an exercise. So say you're doing squats, right? First set usually feels a little like you got to get warmed up more, right? Usually feels a little tough, a little hard to get into it. Doesn't feel like it flows very well. And if you're doing a compound movement, it can be a struggle to get the coordination of things, especially with a more complicated move. Second set, and if you've worked with me, you'll know I always say the second set's the best set, because second set, during that first set, your brain is having to communicate with your muscles pretty intensely to be like, listen, this is what we're doing, and let's make that connection. Second set, your brain's already done that, so you go right into the movement. It usually feels better. It feels easier, right, because of that. And if you've heard the term muscle memory, that's what's happening. Muscle memory is the mind-body connection. It's your brain connecting to your muscles. So that's why that second set always feels better. Third set, just as a fun fitness fact, third set is scientifically proven to be essential for fatigue. The second set connects best and you get the most out of it. That third set pushes you to fatigue. Okay, so that being said, the mindful connection that cannabis brings is really important when it comes to working out. And it could really enhance your ability to move fluidly, to coordinate your movements. So if you're doing compound movements, which is 2 body parts at once, essentially, like a squat to a press, for example, you'll be able to coordinate that fluidly with cannabis because of the mind-body connection. You're able to put your brain into your biceps, as they say, or really you'll feel the muscles working. You'll be able to tell that your foot is in the right place for your lunge, for example. There's a mind-body connection. You're connecting to your muscles. And so cannabis can really enhance that. And a lot of people do find that they do like THC for that, and I would suggest always starting with something very low in that case. And CBD, again, no buzz, no high, again, can be essential because that can be taken anytime. There's no safety concerns about it, but it just can be an essential, bringing that together. Because here's what I see is a couple of different things. When it's hard to connect your brain to your muscles, we're not always getting as much out of it as we could, right? We really have to put it in there. A lot of times I see people go through the motions, and it almost looks like they're just flinging weights around. And one of my goals as a trainer is to help connect that and really get you to feel the muscle that's working. So if we're doing a bicep curl, you're not just throwing the weight up towards your shoulder and then throwing it back down, which is sometimes what it feels like. You're actually squeezing the muscle in your upper arm and getting that contraction and then feeling it expand. So you'll enhance your workout. The more you connect your brain to your muscles, the more you get out of the workout. And the more you get out of the workout, the more results you get, the more fat you burn, all of those things, the more shape you build, all of that. So on a tangent to that is with stretching. And I've mentioned this before because I love stretching with cannabis. And I actually said this, I was just visiting a local dispensary, and I was talking to the owner, and we were talking about, this stuff and what I do. And I was telling him about my dream to have like a smoke and stretch kind of class. Not that you have to smoke, you could have an edible, but you know what I mean? Where you are using cannabis, but then, stretching purposefully, because I would like to lead people through that incredible feeling where you connect to your body and can feel the stretch. And you know what he said? He said he does that. He has a lot of back pain, he said, and when he uses cannabis, it dulls the pain so that he can stretch. And I thought that was an interesting take. And I thought that was a good point, because if we're in pain, and this obviously connects back to the recovery point, but if we're in pain, you don't necessarily want to stretch because it hurts. But if you can dull that pain, you might be able to get into a little bit of a stretch that might help relieve the pain, because pain can be made worse as we tighten up, right? So it all works together, right? It all works together. So the mindful connection is number 4. Number 5 is one of the obstacles I really see for weight loss in particular is the mindful eating. And I have talked about this, but it's the ability to feel your natural sensations of hunger and fullness. What I see a lot of with clients is that we're eating out of routine, right? We're eating when we're not hungry and we're not eating when we are hungry. And I think the combination of that is what is leading to a lot of our expanding waistlines. We're gaining weight because we're eating when we don't need to. We're eating foods we don't need to. We're just eating out of routine, but not actually thinking about what we need or whether we need that. And then on the other side of that, when we are hungry, we ignore it. And there's a couple consequences to that, because one, if we ignore our hunger, we eventually get ravenous, and then we tend to make snap decisions, right? Quick decisions, and they're not always the most mindful decisions. We tend to grab convenience foods because we're hungry, because we didn't pay attention to our hunger early enough, and we didn't strategize about it. So if that tends to happen to you, because I do see this a lot, this is a very common theme, is we ignore our hunger, and then you eventually get so hungry that you can't wait and you have to grab the closest thing you can find, whether that's in your kitchen, whether it's in a drive-through, whether it's at a food truck, the first thing you can find, instead of remembering. And what I would do is have you strategize. And if you notice that as a trend, Okay, every day around, 3 o'clock, I start to get hungry. And then by 5 o'clock, I'm driving through Burger King because I'm so hungry. Then maybe at 3 o'clock, we plan a snack. And then we have a planned snack. And that curbs the hunger so that you can make better decisions, slow down, take the time. You're not starving. You don't have to go to Burger King. You can go home and cook dinner or shop and buy something that is more in line with your goals versus just something that's quick, right? So that mindful eating is what that technically is. But it's really paying attention and tuning into your hunger and fullness, your energy levels, and your satisfaction too. So if we're ignoring those, then it can really hinder the weight loss. But if you pay attention to that and get more in a routine where you're eating when you're hungry, right? So that you don't get too hungry and eat something not in line with your goals. Or on the other side of that, again, not eating when you're not hungry. So if you're full, then you're done. But a lot of times we eat past fullness. We eat to stuffed. And we don't need to do that because that's just extra calories. So if we can train ourselves to eat only to just being full, or even what they call 80% fullness, then we'll be consuming less calories, right? Fewer calories, and then that equals weight loss. So it's much more easy to tune into our body sensations with cannabis because again, it's similar to number 4. It's that mindful connection. It's the ability to feel what's going on in your body that cannabis provides, and it's the ability to be present in the moment. Okay, number 6, sleep. All right, this is a huge one. Because if you're not sleeping, you don't want to do anything. You definitely don't want to work out. You probably don't want to make any food. You may not want to go to work, right? Sleep ruins everything. If you're not sleeping, you don't feel good at all. So, and it's a really common issue that I hear from clients and from people in general is lack of sleep. And that's a big one. And you'll feel so much better if you sleep well, 1, just period. 2, if you've slept and you feel refreshed, then you're way more motivated to work out, you're way more motivated to eat healthy. So, and cannabis is known for helping sleep, right? Again, I would start with CBD just because there's no buzz, no high, unless you're comfortable with THC and you want to try that. Always start with something low, a low dose. And you could even microdose. A lot of people do that. Microdose, which is just taking a small dose, like a milligram or 2. I think 2.5 is a popular dose. And just before bed, and that just helps promote the sleep and helps you stay asleep. So actually, the way it works is THC helps you fall asleep, and CBD helps you stay asleep. Although I find that they both work for both, but everybody's different. So using cannabis to help you sleep, again, that can change your life. Getting better sleep, you'll be motivated to work out. You'll wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new attitude, feeling good, ready to take a walk around the block and make some, steam up some broccoli for dinner. You'll just be so much more motivated if you sleep well. And then number 7, which is kick back without the hangover. Because we all like to kick back. I love to kick back. You love to kick back. Who doesn't love to kick back, right? But with alcohol, which is the go-to, of course, because it's our society's norm, it leaves us feeling pretty crappy. And that, again, nobody wants to go to the gym the next day after they drank, right? Nobody wants to get up. Nobody feels good. And if you really drank a lot, then you're definitely not going anywhere. And you're going to start craving like fried food. And you're going to be eating, pizza at 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember those nights. And it's not fun and it doesn't feel good. And it's definitely not helping your fitness or your weight loss. Because, if you're eating pizza at 3 in the morning after a night of drinking, that's a lot of calories that you definitely don't need, right? And that's obvious, but when you use alcohol, you can't help it. So because it dulls all of our, receptors of just being normal and making good decisions, right? So, but cannabis doesn't do that. It actually, there's a lot of misconceptions about cannabis that when you're stoned, you're not making good decisions. And that's actually not true. For one, there's a lot of ways to use cannabis that are very satisfying that you're not totally stoned. And two, because cannabis actually kind of mellows us out and it almost brings it down a notch so that you're still making good decisions. You're just a little more chill about it versus alcohol, which sort of just throws you off your rocker, right? But everybody likes to kick back. Everybody likes to kick back. Everybody likes a little buzz here and there. I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people do. And if you do, then you might find that cannabis is satisfying in that way without the negative effects of a hangover. Because again, alcohol, it upsets our stomach, it makes you feel crappy, it dehydrates you. So then you spend the whole next 2 days drinking a bunch of water. But we need ways to kick back. We need ways to manage our exhaustion, and the way we live our lives is just exhausting these days, and it's overwhelming and we're overburdened. So, we need ways to relax. And cannabis can be just an incredibly safe way to have a little buzz, relax, and kick back with your friends without the stomach upset, the bloating, the hangover, the dehydration, the extra calories, all of the negative things. So cannabis can be excellent in that. And I know I've mentioned this before, but the drinks are hot right now. And I think going into summer, we're going to see a big spike in the drink sales. And we're going to see, I think you're going to find I'm hoping that you're going to go try one of the drinks because I've been talking about it so much. And I think you really enjoy how that feels. They're very low dose. It's like 5 milligrams per can, but it's just enough to give you a buzz. And, then if you're thirsty, drink more. So they generally come in like a seltzer. But, whatever you prefer, whether it's a drink, whether it's an edible, whether it's vaping, or however you prefer to take your cannabis, I think you'll find that the buzz is quite satisfying compared to alcohol without the negative side effects. So there you have it. My top reasons why I love cannabis as a fitness professional. So not just for myself, because we all know I do love it. And these things have helped me as well. But these are also big obstacles that I see for clients. And I know that cannabis can help each of these. And it's exciting for me to be sharing this with everyone, with you, because as I help more people with this one-on-one, then we're just seeing more and more results, and we're just changing the world. We're becoming better people, and we're having more of an impact on the world as we feel good. So that's it for today. Have a great rest of the day. And again, hit me up if you have questions, because I want to talk about what you want to hear about. So send me an email. It's beth@cannafitnessnutrition.com, or I'm on Instagram. It's at Beth_CannaFitnessNutrition. And reach out to me there or through the podcast or through my website, cannafitnessnutrition.com. And I hope to hear from you. Thanks for listening.